Hello and welcome to the Energy Connect studio at the 9th OPEC International Seminar in Vienna. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me in the studio today Dr. Houda Ben Jannet, the General Director of OMEC. Dr. Houda, it's such a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me with you. And let me thank also His Excellency for inviting me to attend this very important edition of OPEC events.
Dr. Houda, to start off, can you give us a quick overview of the energy sector and its long-term and immediate prospects in the Mediterranean?
Yeah, sure. We at OMEC, which is so the Mediterranean Organization for Energy and Climate, we are focusing on the evolution and the development of the energy system in the whole Mediterranean countries. So the coverage here is all the Mediterranean, bordering the Mediterranean basin, starting from Portugal up to Mauritania. So this is our coverage. And when we look at the situation now, and we do prepare scenarios on up to 2050, and what we contemplate is that in the short term, up to 2030, we will be having economies which will still rely massively on fossil fuels. So today, the economies of the Mediterranean region is like 76% based on fossil fuel, and up to 2030, which is nearby. So we do expect that this share of fossil fuel, which equally 30% for oil and 30% for gas, will remain by 2030 unless we accelerate the energy transition, which already going on. But still, we will contemplate some important role that hydrocarbons will still be playing. But when we look at North and South Mediterranean countries, there we will already have two different stories because the energy transition started, but European countries are faster in implementing their energy transition. So therefore, the fossil fuel share in the Mediterranean in terms of demand, contribution to the demand will be heavier in the South Mediterranean countries. So at the same time, what we contemplate is that the European Union and the South Mediterranean countries are having a more increased relationship, and also considering the geopolitical situation and the willingness of the European Union to exit from the imports of gas from Russia. So of course, the South Mediterranean countries have already been playing an important role in the region as a secure supplier. But this is expecting to even develop further. And this calls also for the development of infrastructures, also need of more infrastructures. LNG is going to play an important role. So the security of supply is in the heart of the also cooperation between the Euromed region, and which will have already started, and we will contemplate this happening in the even short term. And some countries also playing a role of hubs like Egypt, we know that there are a lot of new discoveries of gas in particular in the region, in the East Med gas region, but also in the south, like Algeria. So they are going to play an important role, and then we will be contemplating a massive in development of search for natural gas in particular. But at the same time, I repeat, the energy transition is going, it's progressing, but we might see the impact much further in the long term. What we do see also, we know that the region is endowed with huge potential for energy, renewable energy and energy efficiency, but this potential is not fully untapped, and we do have only some 11% of renewables in the energy mix today. And by 2030, if we only go to the present policies, we will still have a development, but which is far from being very important and tapping the potential. So energy solution is going. Natural gas is expected to play a role. Cooperation between the Euromed is expected even to be more important. So interconnectivity is very important as well. For the longer term, we see two different paths. We at OMEC, what we have seen is in our recent scenarios. By the way, we published the Mediterranean Energy Perspectives. We just closed it, and we launched it in Egypt a couple of weeks ago, and we will be making our tour in order to present in different countries. But what we have, the results show that whatever the future is, the Europe Mediterranean, North Mediterranean countries are doing well, more or less rapidly, but reducing the energy demand, cleaning the energy system. But in the South Mediterranean countries, here we have two different possible future. One is very much concerning because if under the present policies, we might see Mediterranean, South Mediterranean countries still very heavily relying on hydrocarbons. And this is bad news in terms of, resources are available, but won't be enough. And so that would lead to not only on the climate, of course, because there will be massively emitting CO2 emissions so from the south countries, but on the security of supply side. So today, the region in the south, they are altogether more or less 9% dependent on fossil fuel imports. But if we go with the present policies, even though, again, transition is ongoing, renewables efforts are there to develop renewables and also energy efficiency, but not enough. And we expect to have 110 million people from today to 2050. So if we do not accelerate, so again, what will happen is that not only we will be emitting a lot, but also we will be much more dependent on fossil fuel. And we are in a region where we have some geopolitical problems. So this situation won't be beneficial to anyone. But however, if we tapped into the energy efficiency potential with the renewable energy, and we've heard even in these yesterday and today how renewable energy have become competitive. So that would lead to not only to reduce the energy demand, to clean the energy demand, but also to free the available resources to export. So and then the region will turn to exporter. And so with all this, the main issue is really to work together. So because why is energy efficiency and renewable energy not accelerating in the region for many reasons we can talk about later. But in all this, we need to strengthen cooperation, collaboration in order to accelerate the energy transition, because this is the win-win future that the region could have.
That's an excellent point. And how does the Mediterranean act as a frontier of energy amid all the volatility and disruptions that we are seeing in the energy sector globally?
The difference between our two scenarios, to go to the business as usual, let's say, and again, it's a business as usual, well, countries are developing their renewable energy, in particular potential, and a future where we can decarbonize. The big issue would be to accelerate the development of renewables. So we could avoid by 2050, in comparison with the business as usual case, by 48% the CO2 emissions, thanks to the development of renewable energy. We could reduce by 40% the emissions the emissions thanks to the energy efficiency by 40%. So 88% of the CO2 emission in the future by 2050 could be avoided by accelerating the energy efficiency potential, tapping into energy potential, and also renewable energy. Then we have also to accept that we are running into a transition. It's not a rupture. So we cannot just dream about tomorrow to have 100% renewable energy mix. So otherwise it will be a rupture, So we are, when we talk about energy transition, so that means that we are step by step. And in any case, we will need to also count on gas in particular for the region. So this is a bridge fuel that can help accelerating also access to the development of renewables. But also, of course, we need to decarbonize this gas. So we do believe that CCUS can have an important role in demand, but also the green gases, which we see a future for the green gases, but at a medium term. Not renewables are already competitive, whether green gases and green hydrogen is for a longer term. So what we need to do for that is to establish, of course, that we need a cooperation or shared responsibility between governments and companies, governments to set the vision and to set a stable and the enabling framework for this strategy to happen so that companies can play their role. So meaning that the regulatory framework, the stable policies, and also to a lawful collaboration, because no single country can make it by itself. No single technology can solve all the issues, so it is a mix of everything. And also transport connection can also help flexibility, can help better integration of renewables. So it is a collective, by the end of the day, efforts that the Euromed countries can, that already started, by the way, working on. So governments can help setting this. And in that case, companies have the responsibility to act in the best, with excellence, of course, in implementing and in implementing the different the projects, and they can only respond. I mean, if the enabling framework are there, so they can only respond, of course, and be part of the game.
In that journey, how critical is the role of carbon capture and other technologies in making sure that we are heading towards a lower carbon future?
Yeah, of course, technology is very important, and what we see is that the vision is also technology driven, and that's why also we see many companies, including our member companies, but also worldwide, promoting and investing also in the technology development from one part to clean the traditional energy. So we have. Because by the end of the day, the problem is to have access to an affordable, clean energy. So we are looking for energy security, but in a clean way so that we not damage the climate. So, and in that sense, so technology can help in cleaning the available additional technology whenever it's possible in a cost-effective, competitive way, and also new technologies that will be like renewables, how they develop. But we might, when we talk about 2040 and 2050, we might see new other technologies and companies are investing in that sense because they have diversified their portfolio already and their activities. We almost no more talk about oil and gas company, but about energy companies. And so we know that they are investing massively as well in not only in renewables, but in new technologies, such an example, fusion. We know that E&I, they are investing in research, and so a lot in also fusion, so to look at the future. But the companies are also investing in circular economy, for example. So there are a lot of transition that is made by the companies themselves in order to be part of this journey, which is having access to energy security, but also decarbonizing the energy system. And this is something that we've heard also for COPs. They are active in COPs with participation in several alliances for solar, but especially starting from COP 28 in 27 in Egypt with the decarbonizing day, where we've heard the energy companies saying we would like to be part of the solution. So this is, and of course technology evolution already have played an important role and will keep playing an important role. And I'm sure that in the future we will also discover new technologies that hopefully can save our planet.
Absolutely. Dr. Houda, thank you so much for your brilliant insights.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming down to the energy.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, and you can get more comprehensive coverage of the energy industry and studio interviews like this at energyconnects.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media, and I will be back with more studio interviews from the 9th OPEC International Seminar in Vienna. Stay tuned.